Question 2, we're asked to write the equation of a line that is perpendicular to a given line and passes through a different point. So um, because we understand the relationship between perpendicular and parallel lines, right, and slopes, basically this first equation here is going to be used to give me information about the slope that I need. But the heart of this line will be governed by the fact that it has to go through this point. So the strategy here is figure out what slope we're talking about and then use this point 612 to figure out the line that has to go through that. So the first part here is, let's go ahead and look at this perpendicular to this line that I've underlined in green. Well, what's the slope of this line? Well, I could take away 4x from each side, and I could divide both sides of that by 3. So y equals negative 4/3 x, and 12 divided by 3 would be plus 4. So this line, 4x plus 3y equals 12, has a slope of negative 4/3. And because I'm intending to take and not use that slope, but use a slope that is perpendicular to it. So if I was here and went down roughly negative 4/3, I might be looking at a slope that looks kind of like this. Although, well, yeah, I guess if that's going through 4, that's fine. If I was to take this line and rotate it 90 degrees about this particular point, that rotation, right, would create a situation where my slope triangles would flip. Rise and run would switch places, and also this had a negative slope, this one would become a positive slope. So this is just by a way of review for justification for what we're doing here. If I want a line that's perpendicular to this line, I would have to use a slope that's the opposite in sign and reciprocal of the slope down 4/3. So the slope that I'm using is 3/4, right? I'm going to go up 3 over 4 units. That slope will produce lines that are always perpendicular to this line that we were given here. The other piece of information I have is that it's going to go through this point 612. And you can see there's both an x value and a y value here. And we're going to use that xy with this slope to figure out the equation of the line we're talking about. So if I wrote, for example, y equals mx plus b, I've got a y value of 12. I've got a slope of positive 3/4, and I've got an x value of 6 and then plus b. So I'm trying to figure out the value of b that will force this line to not only have a slope of 3/4 but also go through the point 612, because I wanted to go through that particular, whoops, where'd you go? I wanted to go through this particular, that's interesting, this particular x value and this particular y value. So to solve this, let's see, there is a common factor here with the 6 and 12. So if I look at 3 times 6/4, both of those can be divided by 2. There's a giant one of 2. So this would become 3 times 3, dividing the 6 by 2 over 2, or 9/2. So I'm just writing that as 9/2. Over here I've got the 12 and then plus b. If I want to solve for b, I'll take away 9/2 from each side. So 12 minus 9/2 is what b is, and 12 is 24/2. So I can write this as 24/2 minus 9/2. And if I take 9 away from 24, I believe I get 15. So what I'm looking here is b, whoops, this keeps jumping around on me today. B would have to equal 15/2. So I know my y-intercept is at 15/2, which is, what is that? That's like 7.5. And my slope is, again, positive 3/4. So I'm ready to write the answer. The answer here should be y would equal 3/4 times the x value and then plus 15/2, or 7.5. And I prefer answers that are like this, but if you were to write 0.75 and 15/2, 7.5, that's okay. If you're really honestly not looking at these things and doing the fractions like this, that doesn't freak me out either. I just want to make sure that you're competent and you know how to do those calculations using your calculator. But honestly, this is simple enough that I think you should be able to manipulate fractions like that without much difficulty. Okay, I think that was it for question 2. The equation of the line that would go through the point 612 and be perpendicular to the line given would be y equals 3/4x plus 15 halves.